Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a good day. Okay, so let's start with this video. As the title suggests, I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up Raylib and get a window opening. And it's going to take not too long, hopefully. So, firstly, I'm going to make a new folder inside of my Visual Studio project, which is connected to my Visual Studio. Okay, so firstly, maybe you guys want to install Visual Studio, and if you have that, well, congratulations, man. You're just where you're supposed to be, I hope, at least. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write Windows Raylib, and that's going to be the file that I'm going to be using for my Visual Studio, okay? That's going to be the folder, basically. So now, inside of Windows Raylib, I'm going to be using something called CMakeLists, which makes it so easy to connect libraries like Raylib. So, CMakeLists. By the way, when you're installing Visual Studio, make sure you have C++ development on desktop, and I feel like that's all you need. But if not, you can always check it on the internet, right? So, CMakeLists. Let's open CMakeLists up. Okay, so what are we going to do with CMakeLists? What we're going to do is, let me make it big, so you guys can see. Okay, I think this is good enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to say CMake minimum required, and then the version of CMake. Wait, version 3.24. All right, next we're going to say project, and then the name of the file that we're using. And as I said it before, I'm going to be using this one, Windows Raylib. All right, so let's go there. So let's say Windows Raylib. Okay, that's the project. And then we say languages, and then CXX, which is C++, I think. Not entirely sure. Okay, so let's go next, And then we got to set it. So we say set, we say CMake, CXX, standard, and then 20, because I'm going to be using Visual Studio, I'm going to be using C++ 20, okay? And then we say set CMake, CXX, standard, required, which means that you have to do this, okay? It's like you have to make it Visual Studio, not Visual Studio, C++ 20, okay? You have to make it like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say include, say fetch content. This allows us to literally fetch content, okay? That's easy. And then we say fetch content, declare. And then we say we want to fetch content for Raylib, right? So we say Raylib. And then we go to the Git repository of Raylib. We say Git repository, and then we give the link https / github.com, and then / rayson5, and then / wait, there's only one slash here, my apologies. And then say raylib.git, and then we go to git tag, say git tag, we say 6.0, and this is the version. You can also write master here, mastery, but it's like it's not always the stable version, so I'm just going with the stable version. We say 6.0, and then we say git shallow on, and then we go to the next. There, what we do is we basically say we know where to fetch the content from, so now we're gonna make it available to you. So we say fetch content, make available. Okay, Raylib. All right, let's go next. Now we're gonna add the executable file so that we can run the CMake on it. executable, executable. And then the file name. What was the file name? File name was Windows Raylib. Let me see if that's correct. Yep, that's correct. Windows Raylib. So we write Windows Raylib, all right? So what do we do after that? We say main.cpp, because we're going to be using main.cpp as the main place, as the main source code. Yeah, basically, I think. So we say target, link, libraries, and then Windows Raylib, the folder name. You can change this to whatever you want to make the folder name to be. You say private, because it's kind of private, Then we say Raylib, which is the content that we're fetching. And I think that's it. Let's go back. Let's zoom back. Yep, I think that's it. Let's see if it works now. So let's save this. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be putting this code in the description below, so you guys can also check it out if you want to. Okay, let's go and let's open Visual Studio now. Visual Studio, here we go. I already tried making this just so I could try it myself, and now I'm making the video for it. So open local folder of VS projects, and then we go to Windows Raylib. We select this folder, and it opens it, and it makes us the CMake. Now we have CMakeLists done. Let's see if everything's good. Yep, it looks good here. This link looks good. On version, I think we're good. Okay, this looks good. So now let's make the main. New file. Make new file. I'm gonna call this main.cpp. That's cool, right? So now let's build this. Control save so it builds. Yeah, okay, I think that looks like CMake generation finished. Nice. Okay, so let's do hashtag include and then raylib dot h. Yes, raylib dot h. Okay, now we make the main function int main, and then int main, and then what we have to do is we have to make the window, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a constant integer, which is going to be the window's width, how thick the window is, basically. I mean, not thick, but like wide the window is. So constant integer means that we have an integer like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that is constant, so we can't change this. So we say window width, it is going to equal to 480, and then I'm gonna make constant integer window height, which is going to equal to 270. Okay, so you guys might be wondering, where do you get these numbers from? Like, how did you get these numbers? Okay, I'll show you. Let me take out the calculator real quick. So we know that normal computers, I mean, not normal computers, but like most of the displays that we have is 1920 by 1080, right? That's the basic ratio of most displays. There are 4K, 2K, they're different, but this is basically how most of them are. So we say 1920 divided by 4, which gives us 480. That's good. That's a good number. And then we can say 1080 divided by 4, which will give us 270. So basically that's how I got these two numbers. I just divided the normal number, I mean not the normal number, but like the normal display by 4. Okay, now that you know that, let's make the window. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to say initiate window, and then we're going to do window width, which is the window's width, and then the window height, height, which is the window's height. And then what do we want it to display? I'm just gonna make it display window cool. I'm gonna make it display cool window, you know, cool window, and then make it say yay, you know, yay, we got a cool window, you know. Get what I mean? Okay, so currently we see that these are white. Why are they white, right? They're supposed to be colorful. That's what makes it cool. Let me try saving. It's not changing. I wonder. Well, I don't know why it happens, but if I close this and then I open Visual Studio and then I open Windows Raylib, I can see that these guys get their color, you know? I think it's just because it makes it available or something. I'm not really sure. Okay, I forgot something, which is just return 0. I mean, technically, you don't need to return 0 because in the main function, it already does that for you. But we just return 0 anyways, because that's the standard, I think. All right, so next. So we have initiated the window. So now let's make the while loop. Does everybody know what a while loop is? Well, if you don't, what it is basically the while loop runs whatever is inside of it until the condition of the while loop is false. So what we want is, as long as the window is open, the while loop should run. And if the window closes, the while loop should end. So we say windows should close. But wait, does that mean that the window should be closed? If window should be closed is true, then the while loop should only run if the window should close. But no, we want it to run when the window should not close. So we add a not in front of it. Exclamation mark represents not in this case. No, thank you. Okay, so what do we do here? Basically, now the window says, while the window should not close, this is going to run. Okay, so what is it that is going to run? So basically, we want to begin drawing, and then we want to basically clear the background, which is going to be the background color. Clear background, and we can make this any color we want. I'm just going to use black, but you could do something like this, color, and let's say I want it to be turquoise. I'm not sure if that's how you write it, but I can set turquoise to be something like, what's the RGB colors for turquoise? I don't really know. So I'm just going to make it just whatever. I'm just going to make it 100, 100. Oh, okay, we're not done yet, that's why. So 100, 100, let's say 220, 255. That's what color turquoise stands for now. So I'm going to put this in here because I don't want to set it turquoise into this color every time the while loop runs. So I'm just going to put it behind. And I'm going to take this Control-C, Control-V. Now, the clear background is going to be turquoise. Did you need to know that? Not really, but it's a cool thing to know. So basically, RGB, if you don't know, is just a number between 1 and 255. Wait. And what happens is, if R, I think it's from 0 to 255, I'm pretty sure. So when R is 0, that means there's 0 red. That means there's 0 red. And basically, if R is equal to 255, there's 100% red. I'm pretty sure that's what it basically means. And that means that at 0, it's going to be black. So if everything is 0, 0, 0, it's going to be black. And if everything is 255, 255, 255, like this, then it's going to be white. But you guys really don't need to know those, so let's just go back. And let's say it's going to be turquoise now. And the last thing we have to do is we have to end the drawing. And then we just close the window. Okay. And that's basically it. The simplest window we can make using Raylib. Yes. Okay, let's try running it. Is it gonna work or not? I don't know. Oh my gosh, look at this beauty. Oh my goodness, look at this beauty. We have a cool window. Yay! And we also have this console, which is the Raylib thingy, you know? Okay, so cool. We got a window. That's pretty much it. But if you guys wanted to make the window resizable, what you have to do is basically, you have to, let me remember, what was it? Window flag. It is set window, set config flags. That is what it is. And using this, we can do different things. Like, we want it to be resizable. Let's make it resizable. Resizable. Flag window resizable. Cool. Now you know what we can do. We can run it. And we can now make it resizable. Yay, that's an even cooler window. I'm going to make it even cooler window. All right. And what else is there? Let's see. What do we want? Flag window. We can make it maximized, minimized, mouse pass through, resizable, topmost, set to window, always on top. Okay, let's try that. Flag window topmost. Now, when we run it, it's always going to be on top. Even if I click the Visual Studio, it's still going to be on top. Let me show you without it. Now let's run it. And now when I press Visual Studio, it's going to go back. So it's not going to be always on top. Okay, what else can we do? Let's see. Flag a window, hidden, maximize, pass-through, unfocused, transparent. Whoa, that sounds really cool, man. Let's see what happens when we do transparent. Okay, what is it? What happened? I don't know what happened, man. Okay, let's try making this. Let's try making it maybe 15. Does that change anything? Oh my gosh, look. That's so cool. Now the window is transparent. We can see through the window. That's so cool, man. Wait, what if we just removed this? Would that make this any different? Oh yeah, now we can't see through the window. So that's how set config flags basically work. They allow you to do different things. And that's the whole video. Making, what was it called? Making window using Raylib and set config flags. That's the, alright guys, that's the whole video. Don't forget to